Hey everyone, in Night Vision Book Reader here. Just got a fresh haircut, and today I want to talk about Final Crisis by Grant Morrison, G.G. Jones, and Doug Mangere. The story opens with in ancient time where a figure named Metron first gave a human knowledge of fire. Fire that the cavemen immediately used to burn. We move back to the present where a lot of things are happening at once. The villain Libra is attempting for the highest seat of power in the secret society of supervillain, and with it he also looked for a certain chair. Meanwhile, along with an unnatural weather that calls the Green Lantern's attention, a dead body of a god was found. And another meanwhile, Dan Turpin, the detective that has been following the case of missing children, are captured by the spirit of Darkseid to become Darkseid's new body. Because, of course, we have ghost version of the villain now, why not? The Justice League finally got involved, but it seems like they are finally outmatched. First, they brutally killed Martian Manhunter for the first time. Then they take down the Green Lantern, John Stewart, and Hal Jordan. They captured Batman, bombed the Daily Planet to keep Superman occupied with keeping Lois Lane alive. Darkseid managed to get a lot of W in this arc, including brainwashing all of humanity through TV or any monitor with some anti-life equation virus, and then using a helmet that do the same for the heroes and villains, making them worship him. He even managed to get Wonder Woman to be his virus carrier and his servant. But since this is a superhero action comic, of course the hero will overcome the problem. Superman managed to save Lois Lane, Hal Jordan managed to clear his name and bring the Green Lantern army back to save the Earth. Batman escaped his capture because some bad guys seems to only kidnap people instead of killing them. He then recreated the bullet that killed the dead god at the start of the story. Finally, Wonder Woman is safe and then used her lasso of truth on Darkseid to undo the brainwashing. I think Final Crisis is a good example of how DC storytelling can be as good as it is bad. A lot of the storytelling is just throwing cool sounding words and concept, and whatever stick to the board, we'll use it even we have to ban a few things. There are a lot of story that is really good when you can put it in an isolated story, for example like Batman Killing Joke or Superman All-Star. But when you use it as a long-term storytelling, for example in this comic, Superman suddenly got 4D eye vision as something that Superman can do this one time only. It's a cool idea where Superman can see a lot of things that are not supposed to be seen, and it can bring cosmic threat to the storytelling, but it didn't really add anything to the story after that. It's not even mentioned at all. Even without the 4D random XD things, the story can just go on normally. And there are a lot of random things that are not really useful in this story because of how much crap they're trying to cram into the story. A lot of this sounded a lot better if you read the wiki instead of the comic. And reading this normally is really difficult because of how much knowledge of the story are needed to understand a lot of them and a lot of the characters. Even in this one giant arc, it is separated into multiple titles. What I'm reading is an omnibus that collects those titles, but even in this compilation of the arc, pre-Final Crisis story that tells you what happened to Darkseid and the Dead God at the start, and the post-Final Crisis story that tells the aftermath if not is not included in here. Yes, there are a before and after homework that are needed to complete the story, but not added to the compilation for some reason. I think it's because there are already a lot to tackle even without them. Characters just pop out and you are expected to already know them all at this point if you want to care if they survive the war in the story or not. But if you've read long enough to get to know all of them, chances are you no longer care if they live or die in the story since nobody is really permanently dead in these comics. There's a part of the story where three speedsters appear: Jay Garrick, Wally West, and Barry Allen. Barry was supposed to be already dead, but returned for some reasons, like episode 9 Palpatine style. Jay, for all the time he appeared on the screen, was just for random extra to stand around on the background. Wally is just someone for Barry to talk with. I don't think they needed to resurrect Barry Allen here since they can just use Wally or Jay for the job, but the writers wanted to have Barry Allen back most likely for money, maybe for a new series in the future. But since it's been established early in the arc that don't really matter, when Batman, a major character, got hit by Darkseid beam and seems to be dead, there's no impact at his death scene. And the writers didn't even wait for months or years before showing that Batman is indeed still alive. And in the end of the arc, we are shown that Batman is stuck in the prehistoric era for some reason. And when that is no longer an issue in this action series, there's just no way to the dangers that they're facing. All of these factors cause comics to have some big issues with their long-term storytelling, and not just DC, but even Marvel. One, no story in these comics ever truly ends, and every story will need to end at some point. I think this is proven to be more right since a lot of DC-based stories are either their spin-off or a story that can be isolated into one story that ends. Then 2, because it never ends, new characters keep appearing. Unfortunately, since most of them will have their own title comic, you can't really get to know them unless you also read them, raising the bars to understand the story. And you combine this with 3, where they keep needing to escalate the problem, and then for the solution, they'll need to keep making up new things the characters can do. But once a character are able to do something, it's just weird when they didn't do those things at later problem. Because of all of this, the audience of the story will drop naturally. Either they cannot keep up with them, or just won't. And new audience can really get into the series once there's too much to keep up at once. And they'll need to reset everything. Clean slate where new audience can go into, but old audience have to relive the whole things. For a bit more context, Final Crisis is the last of DC's Crisis Trilogy, which is their plan for a big crossover between all their characters, both major and minor heroes, that is done to basically reset the multiverse that has gotten out of hand, and unite them to make it easier for readers to follow. Starting with Crisis on Infinite Earth, followed by Infinite Crisis, and then ended with this book, Final Crisis. But if you like stories that are somehow more convoluted than if Kingdom Hearts and Fate series made a baby, I think there is some fun in these very over-the-top stories. Even if as a long-term storytelling, much of what is told will become retroactively worse, a lot of the idea used to tell stories so over-the-top and really dumb that it's just sometimes fun to read. Like Superman saved Lois Lane by keeping the medicine that cannot be transported inside his body, inside his mouth, showing that it can be used as a safe container in emergencies. Then the guy just wing at the end for some reason. Batman shooting the first shot at Darkseid, winning against his Omega Beam. And while the concept is cool because Omega Beam are supposed to be really fast, faster than a bullet, but the panel just showed this goofy scene where Darkseid Omega Beam are having a stroke and zigzagging around while Batman bullet just went straight at him. Superman robot that looks just like Superman for some reason, or the Flashes running around just to get dead that are chasing them to find Darkseid. A lot of it is so cheesy yet so good because it's so bad. I mean, some of these lines that the characters are saying, you really shouldn't take the story too seriously. And for better or worse, that is how you enjoy either DC or Marvel. You take the good, the bad, and the ugly and just run with it. Some people might commit to only either DC or Marvel like it's a religion, but that's mostly because of how overly expensive these comics are. But there are great moments in both that you can find and enjoy, and every time you feel like it, you can just look away and drop everything and it will still be there. Overall, I give this a 2.25. What do you think? Are you gonna read it? Did I miss anything? Leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it.